Hi guys! I was just washing my hands and then I thought, hey, this hygiene rules is very important because washing hands is really important because there are germs everywhere. But then I thought about something interesting. People think being hygienic is very important, but it's not just the people. Animals think that too. And then I looked it up and then some of the animals are extremely hygienic. And today my story is actually about an animal that is very hygienic, meaning they like to keep things clean, like me. So today I'm going to tell you a story about an elephant. And did you guys know that elephants are actually really clean animals? On an average day, they take a bath about 10 times. And when they do, they make sure that they take bath in the water that always flows, because the water that moves means that water is clean. So they actually like to go to the river or the stream where the water flows, but they don't like to take bath in the water in a pond or a swamp. That's very clever too. And not only just in the water, they do take a bath in the sand too. So what they do is they go into the sand pit and then they scrub their body to take things off their skin so that they can keep their skin very smooth and clean. I didn't know that elephants were so into skincare. That's interesting. So anyhow, the story about an elephant begins now. Now, this happened long time ago in a land far away where it is called Africa. African elephants are living in the very hot areas. So maybe that's why they like to take a bath to keep their skin cool. One day, in an elephant family, a baby arrived and everybody was so happy about the news about this baby elephant. Now, grandpa, grandma, mommy, and daddy, they were all excited about this baby elephant, but this baby elephant was very special because it was born pink. It was an albino elephant, and it's a real story too. Albino means that sometimes babies are born with less colors. So for people, when the albino babies are born, they are extremely white, but this baby elephant was born pink. Now, most elephants, if you remember, they are either very dark brown or dark black or a gray color. So everybody was shocked at the sight of this baby pink elephant. And the words spread, and then one day, the king from the near kingdom heard about this elephant, baby elephant, but that was pink. Oh, that is so special. And the king immediately fell in love with that elephant, so he decided that he would take that elephant and then choose that elephant as a royal elephant. And the king was actually a nice man because he didn't just take the elephant away from the family. He waited until the baby grew up a little bit so that he spent enough time with the family, and then when the baby was old enough, then he brought the baby into the kingdom. And then he built a very nice house just for that elephant. And then he made sure that he had a clean and nice house with the nice food. He even chose a caretaker to look after that elephant. And the elephant was happy. Although he was alone, he was still very happy. And he enjoyed the nice food and he was having a good time. But then he grew a little bit bored because he was alone. But one day though, there was a stray dog. And then the dog was hungry. And the dog was chased by these hunters. Maybe those hunters wanted to catch that dog, to use the dog as a hunting dog, I don't know. But the stray dog was running away. And then he didn't have a place to go. But he found this hole on the wall of the kingdom and he snuck into the kingdom just to escape from those hunters. And then he found this elephant house. At that time, that elephant was sleeping. And then there was so much leftover food because the elephant was given so much nutritious food every day. So the dog went into that house, found the food, and then he started eating that food. And then after he finished the food, he left. And then somewhere in the kingdom, he just hid and stayed low. When the elephant woke up the next morning, he found that the leftover food was gone. And he got curious. Who's eating my leftover food? He didn't think much of it, but the next day, when he went to bed, the stray dog came back to eat those leftover food again. And it happened a few days in a row, and then elephant decided to stay up late to make sure to find out who was eating his food. So he was waiting one day, pretending that he was asleep, but he wasn't sleeping. And the dog came, and then the dog was eating the food. And then the elephant thought, maybe he and I could become a friend. So without trying to not to make him jump too much, the elephant rose, and then he said, hey, you're always welcome to come here to eat my food. I've got plenty of food and we can share. And the dog thought that was really nice of him. So they became like the best friends. And then they went out for a walk together every day. They shared many stories and they became just really good friends and had a good time. But the caretaker, at first, he knew about this dog, but then because the elephant was being happy, he didn't mind. But one day though, those bad people who was chasing after that dog heard that the dog was living inside of the kingdom. So they approached the caretaker and then they offered some money. They asked the caretaker, hey, I can give you this much money if you sell me that dog. So the caretaker said yes. And then he caught the dog and then he gave the dog to the bad people. Now the elephant woke up one day, was waiting for his dog friend to come, but the dog never came. He waited 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, but there was no sign of the dog, and the elephant got very sad because he got very, very lonely. He's just lost the best friend, the only friend that he's ever had. So he stopped eating his food, and then he got very sad, and eventually he got very weak. And then the king, who loved this elephant, heard about what was happening. He got concerned, so the king came over to the elephant house. And then he asked the caretaker, what is happening to the elephant? Why is he not eating the food? The caretaker exactly knew why the elephant wasn't eating the food. But then he didn't have the heart to tell the truth because he wasn't even the right owner, but then he sold the dog. So he said, King, I'm not so sure why. Maybe he does not like the food that we give him anymore. So the king talked to many, many people outside. And then they got lots of different types of food, but the elephant still refused to eat. So the king made an announcement to the whole kingdom. If anybody can find out what's wrong with my elephant, I will give you the biggest reward ever. So everybody was looking and everybody was looking for the solution to find out what was wrong with this elephant. And then some of the servants in the kingdom who knew about this dog thought maybe the dog was the elephant's friend, and then now that the dog is not being seen, maybe the elephant is sad because he's lost his friend. And then when they told it to the king, then king told the entire kingdom again, whoever can find the dog and bring him back will get the reward. So in few days, people found those bad people who had the dog and those bad people all were called in the kingdom. So the king asked, why have you taken that dog away from the kingdom? And then those bad people, they confessed. They said, well, the truth is we are actually quite poor and then we needed the hunting dog so that we can go and catch the animals. So we actually bought the dog off the caretaker. Oh, the king got so angry. So the king summoned the caretaker and then he asked, you have not only lied to me, but also sold the dog that you weren't rightfully owned. And then that's when the caretaker said, I'm so sorry, king, please forgive me. But he ended up being sent to the jail. And then the elephant got his dog friend back. And then they lived happily ever after. So sometimes happiness is something very simple. Having a good friend with you, someone to just have stories together with, or to share the food, it makes you happy. I'm so glad that the elephant is okay now. You know, the funny thing about this story is, this is actually a real story that's happened in Africa. So the story of the pink elephant is real. The fact that the king who fell in love with the pink elephant is real. And the fact that elephant became a friend with a stray dog is also real too. So animals, they have feelings and they appreciate friendship just like we do too. Isn't that interesting? And there is a funny thing, elephants, again, they are very clean animals. And one thing they really do not appreciate is they do not like to step on poo. Not even their own poo. I mean, you know, we don't want to step over our own poo too, but elephants are like that too. But dogs are a little bit different, aren't they? So they had sometimes a little bit of fight maybe over poo. The issue over stepping over, you know, whose poo. But so I thought that was funny. But anyways, that's my story for today, and I hope you enjoyed my story. Have a good time at home, and don't forget to wash your hands. Bye-bye.
I love elephants, and it have a trunk, and it goes to the river, and then it drinks the water, spray it over himself, and take it. And I love elephants.